Hi everyone, Vacha here from Recording Studio 9 and thanks for joining me again today. In part 2 of series of Behringer's Xenyx UFX1604 16-channel mixer and audio interface, we're going to be looking at channels 3 to 16 and find out what the options are in those channels and compare them to channels 1 and 2. As well as in the end of this video, I will do a summary of the audio routing of those 16 channels. In this video, we are going to look at channels 3 to 16. Channels 3 to 8 also include XLR microphone input level, as well as line level for each channel. This line level is TRS balanced line input. Make a note that you can't really plug in a guitar or a microphone into your line level input, because there is not enough gain to increase your microphone level signal. Most likely it'll be too noisy. These channels also have the low cut switch, which reduces audio from 80 Hz and below with an 18 dB slope. So great for removing low frequency rumbles or for vocals or any other instruments. And next to it is the plus 48 volt phantom power. This supplies the phantom voltage required for your XLR input microphone for condenser type microphones. Below that, we have our gain knob. The gain knob provides plus 10 dB to plus 60 dB of gain to your XLR input for your microphones, and minus 10 dB to plus 40 dB gain to your line level balanced inputs. As I mentioned earlier, this gain knob is the most important setting in your mixer to make sure that you have enough gain so that it's not too loud and clipping and it's not too low that has noise in it. And this affects both your mixer as well as your USB Firewire interface into your PC. The red Send Pre and Post button determines if the signal is sent to the USB Firewire to your DAW before or after the compressor and the EQ section. Again, auxiliary, effect sends, panning, as well as the channel fader levels are not part of the audio routing signal to your USB Firewire audio routing. The one-knob compressor is really great to compress the incoming audio signals so they can stand out in the mix. The red LED flickering determines if the compressor is engaged, and use the compressor sparingly. Too much compression can really affect your incoming audio signal. The high shelf EQ knob allows shelving of the EQ at 12 kHz with plus and minus 15 dB. Great to give some air and clarity if needed, and also great to reduce for cymbal harshness. The high mid parametric EQ knob provides sweeping frequency, same as before, channel 1 and 2, 400 Hz and up to 8 kHz range, again with plus and minus 15 dB. The low-mid parametric EQ knobs provide sweeping frequency from 100 Hz to 2 kHz range with plus and minus 15 dB. Great way to actually shape your incoming audio signal. The low-shelf EQ knob allows shelving EQ at 80 Hz with plus and minus 15 dB. It's great to reduce low-frequency unwanted energy or noise. The blue EQ on button allows to engage and disengage the whole EQ section, so that way you can do an A/B test and find out whether the EQ changes you've done improve the incoming audio signal. And also, if you like to have compression only being sent to your USB Firewire, you can turn the EQ off and you will only have compression applied to your signal going to your DAW. The auxiliary 1 and 2 knobs allow setting of the amount of signal being tapped from that channel routed to the auxiliary 1 and auxiliary 2 buses. And auxiliary bus signals are sort of subgroups of the mixer, and they have separate output at the back of the unit so that you can send the signal for external processing, or the most common use is for stage wages or speakers that musicians listen to. The FXA or auxiliary 3 and the FXB or the auxiliary 4 knobs, the same again allows setting of the amount of signal being routed to the FXA and FXB modules respectively, or to the auxiliary 3 and auxiliary 4 buses. Plugging balanced lead into auxiliary 3 or auxiliary 4 output socket disengages the built-in FXA and FXB modules respectively. I know I will get this question asked, and the answer is no. The outputs of FXA and FXB go only routed into the main bus. There are alternative ways of accessing the FXA and FXB outputs. I'll talk about them in a later video. And here are the auxiliary 1 to 4 TRS balanced output sockets at the back of the unit. Like channels 1 and 2, channels 3 to 8 are also mono channels, hence they have a pen knob, which allow you to set the incoming signal to left or right stereo image for your main mix bus. The mute button routes the channel to alternative 3 and 4 balanced output sockets at the back of the unit, thus muting the audio from the main bus, both XLR and TRS output sockets. The alternative outputs are again a great way to mute the front of house speakers while listening to them in the control room that are connected to the alternate output 3 and 4. The solo button has two modes. In normal mode, it solos the selected channel, muting all others. In PFL or pre-fader level mode, it allows you to view the channel gain using the main level meters for gain staging. So you get detailed VU meter to adjust your gain knob. We'll cover this topic again in a later video. The channel fader adjusts the volume level of the audio from infinity, turned off, to plus 10 dB, and having 0 dB as the unity level. Again, after setting the channel gain first, using the PFL and the gain knob, we adjust the fader for volume for a balanced mix. The 4-stage level LED VU meter gives you a rough idea of the incoming audio from minus 24 dB, minus 12 dB, and 0 dB, and clipping. Of course, the best practice is to have the signal at minus 12 dB and, flickering every now and then at 0 dB, making sure that the red clip LED does not lit. If it does, turn your gain knob down. So as we can see, the difference between channels 1 and 2 and 3 to 8, which take microphone inputs as well as line level inputs, channels 1 and 2 have the advantage of being able to plug in a guitar directly into those channels without any DI box. Well, I hope this video helped you out to cover all of the channels now. Hopefully you do understand how all 16 channels of the mixer work and all of their routing system. If you have any further questions, feel free to comment below and I'm more than happy to answer them for you. But some of those questions might be answered in a later video. So for that, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that bell as well. So as soon as I upload a video, the next part of the series for the Behringer Xenyx UFX1604, you will be notified. And just a quick add-on message. If you like to support my channel, I do have a Patreon page. You can support me there as well. I will leave the link below. Much appreciated. Because I do have plans to organize giveaways of prizes of whether they're software or even hardware gear that I review, and I will be giving them away to my Patreon supporters. So if you like to support me there, doesn't matter whatever the amount is, I'll really appreciate it. Till next time, as always, thanks for watching and have a great time making music. Cheerio, guys.